too. But I do want to go to the next call here. I want to get to Ray in Mississippi. Ray's been waiting on the line here. Hey, Ray, how's it going?
Great. I'm from Memphis.
From Memphis. Okay, the call screeners have put Mississippi, but
no, Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. All right, Ray. Well, what's going on? How could we help you today?
Well, I think it's like my first time listening to you guys. What is it, like an atheist program? Don't believe in God or whatever.
Well, this is a show produced by the Atheist.
Anything, really, actually.
Yeah, this is a show produced by the Atheist Community of Austin, and I happen to be an atheist, although I don't necessarily characterize this show as an atheist show. I've certainly had theist co-hosts and other kinds of persuasions, but predominantly we do talk about atheism quite a bit. Yeah,
I'm not into all that typing and all those. I'm not into none of that, you know what I mean, putting badges on people. I just know we live, we try to be, you know what I mean, the people that we are, you know what I mean, of the Most High, and that's it. But my thing is, I mean, I'm trying to understand as adults, how can we not want there to be a higher power than us? Why do we want to just live and die? I mean,
well, hold on, Ray. Well,
what hope is that?
Ray, nobody says we want that to be true.
Well, you must want to if you're not really trying to truthfully speak something higher than yourself. You don't believe there's anything higher.
Well, listen, Ray.
Sun in the sky.
Ray, listen. I don't have to. It doesn't matter if I want it to be true or not. If it's the truth, it's the truth, right?
Well, but everybody's truth is different. But we know what moral truth is. I mean, God, it's something that the Most High instills in every man's life.
Moral truth.
Even a child.
Moral truth is different from the idea of a creator. I just want to put that out there real quick. Those are two separate ideas, right?
No,
listen,
a creator has to have total moral truth and total evil.
Listen,
truth.
Ray, if morality from the creator was put into every human being on earth, then I'd say they did a pretty bad job, because everybody has different ideas of what's morally true and what's morally correct.
Well, that's when sin comes in.
That's when the what comes in?
Because that's when sin, S-I-N.
Okay.
You have a choice. He gives us a choice. That's his love. He gives us the choice.
Well, that's
to either live in sin morally or unmorally.
Well, Ray,
that's the love of the Most High.
How do you know that's true? How do you know all of that is true? What's your basis for that?
Because there's something that's instilled in every man.
Is the idea of sin instilled in every man, Ray? I want to talk to you about this. Hold on. You said the idea of sin is in every man.
Probability.
If you talk to Ray, you can't. Listen, Ray, I got to put you on hold, bud. Listen, I'm sorry. I know you want to talk. You're excited to talk, but you got to let the flow of conversation happen a little bit, okay? So I'm going to put you back on. And I want to ask you a question. If we go to the Aborigines right now in Australia, or if we take some sort of native tribe that hasn't had contact with Christianity, are they going to say that they have the same concept of sin as we do? Go ahead, Ray.
It doesn't even matter.
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter because it doesn't even matter what their concept is. They know there's something higher than them. They know they didn't create themselves. They didn't set the sun in the sky. Something set the sun in the sky.
Right, nobody said that we put the sun in the sky, right? I'm not saying that.
Well, who did it?
Right, how do they know, though? How have they arrived at that knowing? How do they know?
Who did it? It had to be a higher being,
it doesn't. Why is it a who? Who says it has to be a who?
Well, what then?
What?
Let's say what or it.
Well, we understand the sun's formation in the universe. We have astronomers who've dedicated huge parts of their lives to figure out exactly how that happened. And they have explanations.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so when it came to the expansion of the universe, right, we had different parts of the universe coalesce into what we would call galaxies, right? And within those galaxies, you started to see other types of formations happen.
Where did they come from?
Well, where did what come from?
The galaxies.
The galaxies? The Big Bang.
They just appeared.
They came from the Big Bang.
Who struck the match and made the bang?
Why does it have to be a who? Again, like where's the who coming from? What if it's...
As everybody will argue about, something has to create something, right? Has to.
Something has to create something?
Has to.
And where did the first something come from?
It has to be an action.
Right, let me ask you this. How do you know it's not multiple who's? What if it's a bunch of who's who started the bang?
Even so.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're wiping out the whole, what I'm trying to say, conversation of that there's nothing that they created everything. Something created everything.
Well, you know, people who talk about cosmology.
Everything that could ever be created has been created. From all the galaxies to the last grain of sand. Something created everything.
Ray, hold on. Ray.
Even our conversation was created before us.
Wait, hold on. Our conversation was created before us?
Right.
How do you know that?
Of course. Because if it or thing, as you say, can create the sun, or if they can create the sun, don't they know our emotions, and don't you think they know our minds before they created us?
But Ray, I don't think a being created the sun. I think nuclear fusion happened, and the sun formed itself through natural. I think it formed itself through natural processes.
Where did natural come from?
Well, look, if you want to,
you can't build a house without a tree.
Let's look at. Okay, so your criticism is right. Something has to create something, right? Like there's always going to be a something, right?
You can't build a house without wood.
Okay, yeah, and so I'll give you this. What started before the Big Bang, or what scientists have called the Big Bang, or even the epoch of the Planck time during the Big Bang, I can't tell you. I don't know the specifics, and there's lots of people that don't. But here's the thing, Ray. Ray, you gotta let me finish. Ray, you gotta let me finish, brother. This is my show, brother. You gotta let me finish, okay?
Okay, right.
Listen, I don't come to the conclusion that therefore the God of Christianity, or any God of that matter, is the creator. I have no way to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, you do.
So if you can show me a way where I can get to point A to point B, I'd be happy to hear it.
Your common sense that God gave even a baby.
There's a lot. First of all,
a baby the common sense to cry for milk when he's hungry.
But that's just instinct, Ray. That's natural processes. Don't you agree? I mean, there are people born without those instincts.
Birds have instinct.
Can I jump in a sec, right?
Yeah, let's let Andy come in here.
Okay.
So I was born in the UK, Ray. I was born in the UK, and it's a very different country with regards to Christianity than the States is.
Right. I'm just talking about the creator. I'm not.
Yeah. I know. Just bear with me.
He's just giving some context.
Bear with me, Ray, because just see where I'm going with this. So I was born. I wasn't born into someone telling me what religion is, what religion is true, whether there's a God or not.
Ray, please don't interrupt my guest, please.
Bear with me, because when I was growing up, I never had a sense that there was a God. There was nothing in me that said there was a God. In fact, and I know there's been some dispute about whether
you were 2 or 3 years old.
Ray, you're the one that's saying that everybody knows, right?
How would you know what I had when I was a baby?
But you don't know when you were 2 or 3 years old. You have these natural processes that go through when you're 2 or 3, but you don't know what you knew when you were 2 or 3. You have no idea what you were thinking when you were 2 or 3.
Can I ask you a question then? How do you know what I was thinking when I was 2 or 3 better than I do?
I don't.
And anybody. Then how are you so sure of this?
It's called common sense. Everyone has common.
Ray,
common means
common sense.
That common.
Common sense is a myth, Ray. I gotta disagree with you there.
Okay, explain a myth.
Listen, I live in Austin, Texas. I meet people every day without common sense, just walking down these streets. Let me tell you, common sense, Ray, is a cultural idea, and common sense is going to differ from each country you go to, from each group of people you go to. Right? If you go to China, it's just common sense that Tai Chi is really good for you and that everybody should be doing it. That's not a belief that we hold here. You know?
Common sense. That's not common sense.
Well, that's what the Chinese would call common sense. You got to understand, it's a cultural idea.
In any language or anything, in common sense is 1 + 1 is 2. That's common sense. You can't do it no other way. Everything has 2
That's a different example, I think, of what we're talking about.
One side. Show me something with one side. Anything.
Something with one side?
Anything that has one side. What's that? Show me.
I mean, like a Mobius strip.
who?
A Mobius strip.
What's that?
So it's a figure in geometry that only has one side. You can look it up. I'm not making it up.
A figure? What kind of figure? You right here?
A geometric figure. A geometric figure, Ray.
So what's on the other side of that strip?
It's not. It's just one side. It's one side that connects all the way around. It has a twist in it.
So
Hold on, wait. Do I got paper? Somebody give me some paper. We're going to make a Mobius strip for you right here. Are you watching on the stream? Can you see me? I'll show you a Mobius strip.
I was watching. I see the recording, I guess, while you're talking to.
If somebody can give me some printer paper or something that we can do this, I'll show you right here. They're working. They're getting something for me. Sorry, listeners at home that are listening from the podcast, but I'm going to make a Mobius strip right here just to show you something that has one side, Ray.
So you have to draw it.
No. I'm gonna physically make that thing out of that paper with one side. I'm gonna do it.
So you have to use paper.
Well, I have to. What? I'm not allowed to use paper? What's wrong with that?
I'm saying, do you have to use paper?
Oh, I mean, you can, as long as you, here, look, I'll show you. It doesn't have to be paper. All right,
I'm not watching.
Oh, you're not watching. Okay. You don't have to use paper. But for viewers at home, if you want to look at this later, I'll make a Mobius strip for you right here. All you have to do is put one twist right here. You see that? I'm just making one twist here. And then if you put, in this little sheet of paper I got here, Ray, if you put it together, there you go. If you follow this all the way around, it makes one side. Everywhere you go. That's a Mobius strip, folks. Google
of the paper.
Look,
paper just has one side.
No, paper has two sides.
Thank you.
Yeah, but this only has one side. Ray, Google image search a Mobius strip, and you'll see what I'm talking about here.
Believe me, I will.
Okay.
But you have to use something that's invisible now. There's no such thing as an invisible one side.
This has one side, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. I have it right here in my hand.
It's invisible? So it's invisible.
It's not invisible. I never said, we weren't talking about invisible things. We were talking.
You can see it has more than one side, brother.
You can't even see this right now, Ray. Ray, you can't even see this right now. How can you know? How do you know, dude?
I can't. What do you mean I can't see? You had to make it.
Yeah, but you said you can't even see this thing right now, and you're telling me it doesn't have one side. Anyway, Ray, I don't want to talk about this for too much longer. I do want to move on just a little bit.
All right, yeah.
Let's okay, so this idea of like having a creator, like, you know, the one thing, a common tactic that a lot of atheists like to say is, you know, like, well, what created the creator, right? And like, you know, we can explore that, but really, you know, I just want to put out there this idea that, you know, maybe I don't have to know the exact origins of all the universe and everything in existence, but I don't have to presuppose that a god or a being or a whatever is the source of all that. And I certainly wouldn't put down the extra tenets of that Jesus was the Son of God and that sin is a concept that's the thing, you know, because like, I mean, like certainly the Jewish people don't have those same kinds of ideas, you know, and lots of other ancient religions, you know, don't exactly explore those concepts the same way. So,
not to be rude, not to be rude. Can I jump in there right there?
Yeah, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Okay, now, I like to say, I follow Christ. I truly believe that his way of life is the best that has ever been shown. Now, if I was going to walk in the shoes of anyone, it would be Christ, no one else. No one can show me what Christ has showed me and said in his word. I don't care how you try to take the Bible and dump it on and break it on his neck and all that, tell you certain words. It's the greatest thing ever written by men, inspired by the Most High. There's no greater way to live if you want to live that type of life. It's the greatest way, greatest one to follow.
Ray, I'll tell you this.
Anybody else?
I'll tell you this, Ray. I was a Christian.
Why do we want? Okay, listen now. I'm not talking about Christianity.
All right, Ray, I'll give you a few more seconds, and then I'm going to talk to you, but I'll hear you out.
All right, I think so. Because if I wouldn't follow anybody, it will be his example.
Okay.
Nobody else.
Okay.
Another thing, why would we want to explain God? I don't want to explain my God. I want my God to have control of me. Because I don't have control of myself.
Isn't the Bible an explanation for God?
It doesn't even matter if it is or not.
I thought you just said the Bible was the most important thing ever, and we should all follow it.
No, I didn't say that. I said if I was going to follow anybody, it would be Christ. Christ himself.
Okay.
What he said and did.
So you're making the separation between Christ and God. Okay. All right. I see you. Okay.
If I'm going to follow any man, it would be his way. Show me there is no other better way. We don't have control of anything, brother. You can't even control your own bowel movement. So how can you say that you have control and you don't have hope in anything? So why you say I could be a better person by not having
Ray, you're putting a lot of words in my mouth right now. All right, I'm going to stop you here. You're putting a lot of words in my mouth. I never said not to put my hope in anything. I never said that I don't have hope or that I can't.
Have hope if you don't think that you can live after this.
Oh,
live.
Well, I mean, Ray, I've been given this life, whether or not that was from what. Let me make my point here, right? Whether that's from a being or whether it's just natural processes, I have this one life to live. And that's me. That's not something that anybody else can have. And that is a privilege. Ray, I gotta put you on hold, bud. I can't keep doing this with you, man. You can't keep interrupting me. All right. I get it. You're excited and you want to talk, but this is the last time, dude. If you want to have this conversation with me, you gotta let me say my piece. Okay? So I'm gonna put you back on here. I'm gonna finish my point. So you asking me how I can live without hope for like an afterlife. Right. And look, if the afterlife is all that I was looking forward to, then what's the point of living? Okay? If the afterlife is so great, why don't we just go there now? It doesn't make any sense. We have this life here. We can live it right now with the friends and family that I've been given. Okay? That's something special. That's something unique. That's something worth living for. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you don't think it's worth it. But maybe, Ray, maybe that's the result of a Christian upbringing that told you that it's not worth it unless you have Christ. Maybe there's something else out there.
You keep throwing Christian in there. I'm not throwing that in there.
But you're a Christian, though, right? You said you follow Christ.
I didn't say I was no Christian. I said I follow Christ.
You say, okay, so
him.
If you're
Christian is not a religion.
If you're not a Christian, then what are you?
It's not a religion. I'm a Christian. Let's just say I follow Christ.
Christian literally means follower of Christ.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly. It's not a religion.
I just said you were a Christian, though. That's all I'm saying, Ray.
Okay.
Christian means little follower. It's anyway.
I get you. I get you.
Point is, Ray, there's other things to life to live for besides an afterlife.
What?
Here, right now, dude, doing this show every week. That's awesome. I get to do that.
So you don't really want to live after this?
No, I never said that. You put words in my mouth.
I would say that. I'm fine.
If you think someone or something created you, wouldn't you want to give honor to whatever that is that created you?
Maybe, yeah.
You want to?
But here's the thing. I don't think that. So I don't give honor.
Gratitude. You're not grateful.
Maybe you're just making assertions about my character without knowing a single thing about me. Hang on, I'm going to drop this call because if you're going to come in here and call on my show and make judgments about my character, yeah, real Christian of you, bud. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Oh, yeah, he's not a Christian, I guess. Look, this is the worst part. This is the worst part of when I was a part of that religion, was that right there. Because now we've created a hierarchy. Now I'm not a follower of God or Christ or wherever he wants to put it, and that means I'm not grateful. Okay, that means there's something wrong with me, and I don't appreciate that. I'm done with that. Okay, if people want to come in and talk to me and judge my character after they get to know me, that's fine. But you don't know me, dude. And I guarantee there's lots of people out there who would love to have a conversation with you, Ray, about their thoughts and feelings about the universe. But if you're just gonna ram your own thoughts in there without any consideration for other people's ideas, you're not going to get very far with people. That's all I got to say about that. So anyway, what did you think of that, Andey?
I didn't really want to jump in. I felt like you had that handled. Also, what would I add? It was going around in circles. I really wish that Ray would have let you talk, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. This whole thing about an afterlife being so great, I'm kind of fine with not having one. Like, if this is the only life I get and that's that, fine. I feel like the afterlife would be a lot of hassle, especially if it's the Christian version. A lot of rules and stuff. as well, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I still stand by my earlier point of, again, if the afterlife is the goal, if that's like the best thing to look forward to, then why not just have it now? Like, what's the point of living here? If this is some arbitrary test, it can't just be a test, right? Because God would already know if we passed or failed. So there's no point in that either. I mean, maybe some would say it's worth us having the experience of living, but once you get to the afterlife, it seems like a null point, you know?
And as well, when you see people that are prepared to just be like nasty with people in this life because they think that serves some greater purpose, it's like,
I don't need.
Come on.
That's another thing too. I think I was taught, and maybe you were taught this, that you needed a quote unquote greater purpose. Just period. That you needed that. That was something that you have to be happy. I don't think you have to have that to be happy.
I'm actually happier since I've become an atheist, and I would say that I had what you could describe as like a sense of spiritual longing, of spiritual emptiness, of some existential whatever hole in me. That was there when I was into spirituality, when I was looking for answers, when I was looking for a God. I'm not looking for that anymore, and I don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
that's my experience.
I don't need that for myself anymore either. I thought I needed that. But, you know, like I was saying, doing this show gives me a lot of joy. Seeing my friends and family gives me a lot of joy. And why can't that be enough?
I just think get on with it. Just get on with it. Make a good life. Enjoy yourself. If there is an afterlife and you don't know it was there and you weren't given good enough evidence. I
can't change the fact whether or not there's an afterlife. I can't change really the fact that I'm going to die. Maybe one day we'll have some sort of medical science that'll preserve us forever. But I don't, like right now that's out of my control. I don't really have much of a hand in that. So just got to live life.
Make such a big deal out of it though, don't we? We're always like, oh, so important.
Right. Well, anyway, Ray, 2 things for you. 1, look up what a Mobius strip is. And 2, if you want to have a conversation with me again, I need you to reconsider your values a little bit and what you want to get out of this conversation, because you're not going to come here and belittle me or my guests or anybody else with that kind of judgment. Okay. I don't judge you. I don't think any less of you. I think you're someone who is brought up with certain kinds of beliefs and you want to share those beliefs because that's what you were taught to do. But if you want to engage with me human to human, you've got to approach me on that level. Otherwise, how are we going to get anywhere? Anyway,